Okay, yeah, it's working. So I'm gonna chime you in the Zoom once I get in. Are you still on camera on your laptop? Okay. Yeah. All right. So give me a second to bring you into the Zoom. Okay, I'm gonna come on camera. So folks, if you see me, it's because I'm trying to get set up here. So that link that I sent you, Danita, go ahead and join that link that I sent you for the writers webinar. Good evening, Facebook. Give me a second. We're doing something a little untraditional here. Nisha, I'm on Facebook on a live stream. Can you give me a second? Like they see me talking to you on live. Okay. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, my loves. I know we are live on Facebook right now. I'm just waiting on a participant to come in and join me, and hopefully we can get her in here. I want to share a wonderful, beautiful experience I had today with all of you, and I'm excited to do so. So just give me a moment to see if we can get her chimed in. And I'm going to call her. Let's see. Quick. Okay. For the webinar. So anyway, how's everyone doing? I will be in Houston tomorrow. I'm so excited. As you all know, my daughter Lanisha has graduated, and she is now Dr. Lanisha Patterson, but her official graduation ceremony is tomorrow. So I will be flying in tomorrow. Her graduation is Friday, and we will be celebrating on Sunday with lots of family and friends. This has been a wonderful, beautiful journey with her. So we're very excited, and I'm bringing in my participants. All right, it worked, hon. We are on live. We gotta wait till she can. All right, Danita, it worked. Can you hear me? You are muted.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Can you turn your camera on?
Sure. One moment.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Hi.
Okay. Hi, darling. How you doing?
Okay.
All right, so Facebook, I'm excited this evening. As you all know, I am Diana Patterson. I am a best-selling author, playwright, producer, all of the above. I'm not going to go into the thousand of titles I have. The reason I'm in here tonight is because of my Writers Webinar Workshop series through my company, DNP Life. So I'm so excited right now. I have my cousin, Danita Jackson, on with me, who is actually a participant in my writers webinar workshop. And this is very special to me for a lot of reasons. First of all, she was my baby boo when she was little. So to be all grown up now and be in this writers workshop with me is amazing. But I'll share something else with all of you. Danita is blind. She is clinically blind, and this really is so inspiring to me. So anybody that's watching tonight, if you are watching this live right now, I want you to really stay in here and be inspired by this conversation we're getting ready to have, because I had a moment that was so compelling with her tonight while we were in my writers webinar workshop that I just felt compelled to share with all of you. But I also want her to be able to share her experience through her lens of what this journey has been like with her, because of course she's challenged with not being able to see my PowerPoint. Some of my visual aids that I'm using, she's not able to look at those visual aids. So I wanted to allow her, first of all, just to share her experience, period. And let's start off with your why, Danita. So, you know, again, so many people aspire to write a book and again have those excuses. And you and I, of course, have talked about that in my writers webinar. Why those individuals don't write is generally based on fear. It really has nothing to do with being lazy or procrastinating. It's fear, right? But tell the audience a little bit about you and why you were inspired to take this writers webinar workshop with me.
So I lost my vision at at 16. It started out when I was 14, ended when I was 16. So I had vision up to the age of 16. And I'm the first and only in my family. And probably, and so I went through a lot of challenges, just adjusting, learning how to do things back over. And it is still quite a journey, actually, to live this life as someone who had been blind for 16 years, did everything else everybody else did, and then suddenly within 2 years lost my vision completely. And it's just important for me. I feel like it's important at this stage of my life for me to tell my story and how I am rather processing, getting through it, and getting to where I am today with the help of God, support, and just falling and getting back up. That's basically how I can put it. So I thought this would be a nice story for people who are disabled, who aren't disabled, family of people who are disabled, just kind of understand what it may be like for someone who was fully functional and then lost a sensory that is very important to basically functioning as a quote unquote normal average individual, and how you have to readjust, rethink, and reclaim your life again. So that's pretty much why I decided to write this book.
And that's beautiful because, again, you did not allow that disability to be a stronghold. But in fact, I will say, to me, it almost makes you more motivated. You are so, as much as you're in here to learn from me, trust me when I tell you, love, I'm learning from you as well. Now, I'm going to help you out here. I want you to move your camera. I'm trying to figure out which way, if it's facing you a little bit to the right. There you go. There. I want it right in the center. Okay. All
Thank you.
right. So thank you. So Danita and I have now we finished our third session today, right? Our third session.
Yep.
And she's just amazing. She's so, I love her engagement, especially when we have a group discussion with her input and her insight into what she's experiencing as a writer. We talked a lot today about the art of creative writing and really being descriptive in your writing, because again, we want to write in a way that we evoke emotion and incite emotion in our readers, right? So there is a few clips on my PowerPoint, and I actually tonight had a clip of Avatar 2, The Way of the Water. And it's a beautiful group experience, a group experiment that we have together in my writer's webinar. And it was very difficult for me because as I was watching this video, and I had to kind of debrief Danita before I turned it on, because I realized she's not going to be able to see the video. And any of you that have seen Avatar knows that the cinematography is like nothing you've ever seen before. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And one of the takeaways from my showing this video is to incite that emotion and ask my writers what they saw, what emotions were pulled out of them from what they viewed. But of course, my cousin wasn't able to see it. And while she was listening, because she had to go all on auditory sensories, right? Because she couldn't see, I was sitting here bawling. And let me explain that for a moment. The tears were not pity, any of that. It was just the beauty of embracing and watching my cousin be able to take in the auditory sounds of this and still capture what I'm seeing with my eyes. So I want you to talk about that part of our experience together a little bit, Danita. Share with them, when I was showing you the Avatar, what you were experiencing.
Well, I couldn't see it. And I am aware that Avatar is a pretty visual film, mostly, which is why I never saw it. Mm-hmm. And so the scene, I heard a lot of, music and just some incredible sound like scenes. And my thoughts were, I guess the assignment was for me to describe how I'm feeling when I'm hearing the clip. And first thing was curiosity, because I couldn't see anything that was going on. And then I heard the music kind of rise and the scenes changed up. And I felt maybe a little excited as to maybe something triumphant is going to happen. And then, more excitement, and then further curiosity as to, oh, wow, what was that scene about? It seemed to be a scene where the character was feeling or witnessing or sharing something with someone else and describing how they were feeling and their emotions and what their interpretation of what they were seeing. And so it gathered those emotions. I didn't feel like I was missing out because basically I was hearing it and hearing everything that was going on at that time. So I didn't feel like I was missing out on any of the message she was trying to give, and I provided the information she wanted me to provide in regards to my feelings. But once again, I'm only using one sense. Mm-hmm. I'm not using two, so I'm not getting the whole spectrum of what's going on. But I do feel like I got some guidance regarding after I watched that clip as to how to describe a scene so that everyone feels what you're writing. Is that correct? Yes. It has emotion behind it.
Yes, because that's, and again, in that section of my writer's webinar, we're discussing how we're connecting with our readers. And one of the ways we do it is through the descriptive writing, right? And creative writing allows us to really connect to our audience. And what I was so proud of in that moment is your capacity to, even as you were answering the questions in each section of our webinar session this evening, you were so descriptive in all of the, in answering and responding to the questions that I was asking you and understanding what writing entails. So for you, right now, what I'd love for you to do is just describe for them, or if there's something you can say to our audience to inspire them, because again, you are such a source of inspiration. Here you are blind and you're still going to write your story. And y'all, she is so committed to this process. And I can tell you, I am so proud of you. And I had a previous workshop series before the session before this one. And I think Danita might pass some of those writers up. And it's not a diss on them because, again, we talk about that. I want everyone to do this in their own time and in their own time frame. But what I am proud of is the fact that you're not allowing anything to impede your ability to complete this project. So in your own words, I do want you to kind of describe to the audience what this experience has been like for you being in this writer's webinar with me.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and I'm very excited because I had always been wanting to write a book, and my son encouraged me to do that. You know, he said, "Mom, you have a story to tell," but I was just kind of fear was getting in the way, fear of judgment, feeling what people are going to say, and you really encouraged me with the last 3 sessions on just writing my story and being free to say how it was for me, tell my story from my lens. And my book is going to be a little different because, yes, I remember I could probably describe some of the, because I still have some visual memories of, what things look like back then. So I may do some description, but also a lot will be based on emotion and just what I remember. So it's going to be a bit different way I'm going to describe it that I hope will connect with people out there as to my experience, what it's like. I'm going to be going off of memories that are not so much in my head, but I'm not picturing them. They're in my brain. So they're basically coming off of memory of things that happened back then. I'm just really excited, really encouraged. And you definitely have, just got me going with this project, so I'm hoping that everybody will not only follow me, but as well as get the book when it comes out. Because I think it will be quite, frankly, to use the term, eye-opening. So.
Yes, no pun intended, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and it will be. I don't know all of my cousin Danita's story, but I definitely know a good piece of it. And I am so inspired by her courage and her resilience to be able to take life's adversities and turn them into triumphs. And you really have, and we discussed that every day hasn't been perfect, right? And we know that, but overall, ultimately, you keep a positive outlook perspective. There's never been a time that I've talked to my cousin and she wasn't laughing and smiling. And, we crack up, we're silly. We can't tell y'all everything we talk about.
You just gotta have a
We have
sense
a
of
good
humor.
time.
I mean, the biggest thing, you
Yes,
gotta have a sense of humor,
that's
because
it.
you gotta laugh when you need to laugh and cry when you need to cry. And there's been
That's
many
it.
tears and it's been many laughs. So
That's it. And it really has with her. But I can say, from my perspective, a lot more laughs than tears with you, which is another reason why, you inspire me, my love. I'm so proud of you. Um, and I want to say publicly what an honor it is to be able to facilitate this training with you, and assist you in this project, because I know your book, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a bestseller. Your story is so inspiring. And I think, too, and again, anyone watching this tonight, I want to say this. I want you to share this video, and not because we want a lot of people to see it for any reasons of publicity, but because it's such an inspirational story. I mean, here she is again with a disability that she is not able to see, but she is not allowing that to impede her capacity to complete this project, which is so inspiring. And I'm again so proud of you. So if you were, in your own words, to say anything to the audience, I'm thinking about even some of those nuggets I gave you today. Like, what did I tell you was the number
do
one
the
reason?
Maya Angelou quote. I love that. It's
You
like I'm
want
gonna
that
have to
one?
get a t-shirt.
All right, I will pull that up because she loves that one, y'all. I'm gonna pull that up for her. So let me pull up my Maya Angelou quote because she loves that one. And that is, you will know freedom the moment you stop worrying about what other people think of you, right? When I said
Absolutely. I'm
that,
like,
she was like, whoa. Because, and we discussed that in class and in the training, right? We discussed
mhm.
how a lot of people, okay, so on the other side of fear is freedom. And a lot of people do not complete their book projects because of fear. It's just that fear disguises itself. So it shows up in other ways, like procrastination. So a lot of people say, oh, I procrastinate. I'll never write this book, or, oh, I'm too busy. But all those is just fear masking itself as something else. It's still fear. So again, the first session, one of the things we talk about is those blockages, getting some of those things out the way that are going to interfere with your capacity to complete this project. And she is confronting them head on, y'all. I can tell you, she just gets it. It's so great to get to each section, and we're talking about things, and she hits the head on the nail before I can even get to the big point. She's already there. So I just love it. You've been such a joy to go through
Well,
this
thank you.
process with. So if you could say any words, we don't want to be on here. I haven't
Mhm.
packed the thing yet, by the way. Don't tell my daughter on me. I guess you'll know she's probably gonna watch the live, but I still have to pack, y'all. My flight leaves at 8 in the morning. I gotta pack. But if there were anything that you could say to anyone right now to inspire them in any way to finish their book, what would you say?
I would say just put the fear aside. And my inspiration to try to keep this going is it's going to help somebody out. My story is going to help someone. And we all have a story to tell. And it's important that if we feel like um, this is what we need to do, just go ahead and start. Just go ahead and start. Don't worry about what people say, because I've already had comments already. It's like, okay, y'all, keep it pushing, because in the end, someone's gonna get some value out of what you say or what I say. And you know what they say about, I heard someone say fear is false expectations appearing real. And that's what it
Mm-hmm.
is,
That's
basically.
what it is.
And
That's
I heard
it.
that in a women's conference.
That
And
is. That's exactly what it
we
is.
got to get past that, because,
Yes.
God has not given us the spirit, of fear. We all know that in scripture.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just have to say that to myself constantly, because I feel
Yes.
like, this is a part of a healing process for me too. So
Yes.
that's the way I look at it. So
Yes. And as I shared with you, it is a very therapeutic journey to write your book. And you're going to heal some traumas, some past traumas. And there's going to be moments when you're going to have to take a step back and take in what's happening, because you're going to have to revisit some painful moments that incite some emotions that you may not want to feel in the moment, but you got to find a way to push through those emotions and and tell your truth again, with no inhibitions and no fear of what anyone else thinks about it. Because again, this is you telling your story from your lens and your perspective. How someone else outside of you experienced it may look different, but they have to honor your experience. So again, I want you to write free of fear, free of inhibitions, and just freely tell your truth. So we had talked about some of the takeaways from the webinar. What were some of the key takeaways that you learned from the webinar so far up to session 3?
Oh, wow. That I have to be patient with myself, give myself grace, not pay attention to the noise, the distractions, and remain focused,
Right.
you know, and give myself grace.
Yeah.
So I might have something scheduled to do that day in regards to this book, but doesn't mean if I'm not feeling it, it's not going to come out right on paper. So I can give myself permission to do it another day.
Right. Very good. And that's important because, as I expressed, when we force ourselves to write, that's exactly how it's going to convey on that paper. People are going to read it and they're not going to connect to it because it's something that wasn't written from your heart space, right? So we want to make sure that you're telling your truth authentically and from a space of creative flow, right? So again, I just, I was so inspired in that moment. And Danita, I think she thought it was so cute because I was literally crying after the Avatar video because it just really hit me in that moment. First of all, y'all, what a gift. First of all, we need to stop for a moment. Let me just say to everyone watching right now, stop for just a moment and praise God for every gift he's given you. Because we take a lot for granted, don't we, Danita? We take a lot for granted. And in that moment, eyesight is not, it's something I take, I wake up, I see, it's not even something I think about. But in that moment, I had intentional thought processes about the fact that I could see, visually witness and experience what was happening on the screen. And my beautiful cousin could not. But in spite of it, she was still able to take another portion of her senses and take in everything that was happening and still convey a beautiful story at the end of it. So again, I just want to say to you, Danita, publicly again, how very proud and honored I am to experience this journey with you. I can't wait till you get done with this book. And I'm so proud to be able to say, me and you I kind of held your hand through this process. I am truly going to be your accountability partner, not just during the 6 weeks of this webinar, but ongoing. And that's for all my participants. So anyone that's interested in this workshop, I can tell you, if you've been reading the reviews, it has been phenomenal. Very successful. We're going to have some, I know, bestsellers coming out of this. So thank you all to all of you that have participated up to this point. And I do have another session coming up. Let's see, this is May. We'll be done in June. So I'll probably take a break again until August. So I will give you some information about the next session. And you can look for it on Facebook. It'll show up on there as well. And my website is dnplife.com, and that's Diana Nita Patterson, dnplife.com. You can find out more information about my webinar series. I'm also a certified life coach and personal development consultant, and you can sign up for life coach sessions there. And also my book is available on my website. So again, Danita, any parting words you want to leave us with today?
Thank you for being my mentor. That's all I can say.
I love
you.
I
look forward to the process. It's all a process. So.
Yes, and you inspire me, babe. I promise you. So I just thought, and thank you for being willing to share this tonight. I just had this moment. I thought, we take so much for granted, and we complain, don't we? We complain so much. But at the end of the day, I can promise you, if you're intentional, you have so many more reasons to be grateful than you do to be
Yes.
ungrateful or to complain. So, get that gratitude journal out at the end of the night. And I promise you, if you have a page of all the things that happened that were wonderful that day, I can promise you they're always going to outweigh the things that went wrong. So let's stop giving so much power to those things in our life that don't quite turn out the way we want, and just be grateful for every blessing that God has given us, because there's always going to be a reason to be grateful and smile. So, sweetheart,
Amen.
I love you.
Love you too.
And I will see you. We got a lot going on the next 2 weeks, so we kind of crashed 2 sessions tonight, right?
Yep.
So I'll see you in 2 weeks, and I want that homework done, girl. So
Okay.
no excuses.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. And good night, Facebook.